How's everybody doing today? Thursday, live office hours. Great to have ya. Tons of fun stuff today. We're going to talk about fake jobs. Who doesn't love talking about fakers? Good to see you, Andy. GL, fan of Andy. Penny, Michelle. Anybody else? Jump in. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to do some teaching today. I'm going to do some Q&A today. I'm going to tell you about a special promotion I have today that expires in now less than 24 hours. I got a big bonus on that too. So get in, say hi, Mary Lou. What's up? Great to see everybody. All right, question marks in front of your questions. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're in any of my programs, let me know that. If you're a boot camper or a leader or a zebra, I just love having you in that stuff. Dave from Naples, Juan. Beth Banner, where you been? It's time for a meetup again so we could tip a few. Watanuyi, you. Oh, good to see everybody. Amanda. All right. Today I want to talk about fake jobs and fake job postings, what this means to you. I want to talk about why companies do it. I want to talk about how to recognize them. I want to talk about how to avoid them. And in the event you find yourself interviewing for a fake job, maybe a question or two to ask. So it's really interesting. I saw this. It was actually a survey that Resume Builder did. They published the results of this survey last month, and they had pulled 1,641, I believe, hiring officials. So a fairly good-sized number of hirers across many, many companies, and they'd asked them about their job postings, among other things. And I saw a news article, I don't know if it was Apple News or CNBC or something like that, but then I went and actually found the survey and the results, and so I dug in. I want to share those results with you today because it was actually even a little more disturbing than I would have imagined. But as an executive recruiter for a long time who's worked with companies who are hiring, I got familiar and understood why they did some of the things they did. I want to share that with you too, because I do think in some cases, the practice was not really with ill intent. So I want to break all this down for you today. But first thing, let's run through the numbers really quickly, just so you can understand kind of what's happening. So I mentioned there was this survey done by Resume Builder. It's not a site I'd recommend, but they did the survey, so I wanted to grab their data. And I appreciate them for doing that. 1,641 hiring officials, that's what they call them. And then they said this year, 4 in 10 had posted a fake job, literally a fake job. And then right now, currently, 30% of them were still running fake jobs, and 70% of the hiring officials considered this acceptable practice. And they provided the rationales, their rationales, not that I agree with them, on why they thought it was acceptable. Now, to give you some more stats about the order of magnitude of this nonsense, of these fakers, nearly half of them posted 1 to 5 jobs that they considered to be fake. And then if you kind of run down this list, nearly 20% of them had about 10. A smaller portion, a little over 10%, had 50. Some 10% had 25. But actually almost 15% had more than 75 fake jobs for their company. And you might be wondering why they would do something like that. And I'm going to tell you that right now, because here was the rationale they provided, the data I pulled from the survey, and generally speaking, 59% or more, so nearly 2/3 had provided these handful of reasons. The first one was for future employees. So to make it appear to future employees that there were openings. So as though the company, 66%, was growing. Now, the growth aspect even talked about organizations admitting that they were posting fake jobs primarily for investment purposes, meaning to get other parties, venture capitalists, private equity, just companies to buy them up or whatever it is, for actual investment dollars. So they were putting fake jobs out there for those purposes. Really, 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 really unfortunate. And now we're starting to get into the mean stuff. So 63% said we put the fake jobs up because we wanted our employees to feel as though we were trying to alleviate their work, even though we didn't really intend to do that. And if that isn't bad enough, 62% cited one of the rationales as we wanted employees to feel vulnerable as if we would replace them. So make sure you do a good job so that we don't replace you, literally as a scare tactic. So really, really unfortunate. And then nearly 60% said we were simply resume hoarding. So for future jobs, we wanted to make sure we had resumes on file, even though we weren't in hiring mode now. I mean, it's really unfortunate. So a few of these other things that I want to give you before I get into some of my opinions on all of this and tactics is also where might you find these fake jobs? So 72% said we put them on our website. 70% of them put them on LinkedIn. So lots of times, and you're submitting your resume, you're not hearing anything. While you know how I feel about any of these that I would call that are feeding into the applicant trashing system, still, this doesn't help either. So 58% popped them on ZipRecruiter, 49 on Indeed, 48 on Glassdoor. You see that these numbers are fairly large. Would love to know in the chat if any of you feel that you or that whether you felt you might have applied for a fake job or you absolutely know it was a fake job. I know that might be hard, but I want to shift now into, well, how would you detect these? And while I would say to you that I don't know that there's a 100% bulletproof way to know whether a job is fake, but one thing I would say is I want to lump the fake jobs into a couple of different categories. Let's call them the real fake jobs, like really a scam. All right. If it's, a non-business email, I get emails. Wait, so not even like that they're on a site. I personally get emails from organizations that I know are trying to scam me because they ask me to be on somebody famous's podcast, and they say that they'll pay me. And I can see that the email address is from a Gmail address or something like that. So you want to make sure that you're being careful if you're ever getting any emails like that, or if you're seeing them online. The grammar's poor, or there seems to be a lot of errors in the write-up, in the job description itself. Maybe the pay is super high or the pay is super broad. If it sounds too good to be true, these are all really good signs that it's truly fake. And obviously you could go and try to click your way around the internets and try to find somebody who works at the organization or message them. But these to me would set off like alarming bells, like big bells that something is wrong. And then here's where I want to get into where it gets a little more nuanced. And I called these kind of the sort of fake, because organizations and while I don't love this practice at all, and I don't consider it acceptable, I do understand the rationale that I'm going to explain to you that I noticed and observed in clients that I worked with, meaning Mile Walk Inc., my executive recruitment firm. When we would support clients and we would recruit for them, there were a number of times where they would have us recruit for positions where they needed a lot of them, meaning they always wanted to interview people for a particular position simply because they needed a lot. Now, the needs a lot could be, hey, we have a large company and we have hundreds of project managers, or we have hundreds of business analysts, or we have hundreds of administrators or executive assistants, or whatever it might be. If they have a lot of needs, what happens in those situations is they never know who's going to be leaving. And even if they're a great organization and they have a low turnover, if you have 500 project managers, if one of them leaves, you have a vacancy. And even if you have a modest, say, single-digit percentage turnover each year, you're still looking at 45 to 50 of those project managers leaving in the natural course of just people moving jobs, moving countries, moving cities, a spouse that got relocated for any of a variety. I want to go back to school, any of a variety of reasons. So a lot of times, organizations that we would work with would keep their posting up for a long period of time because we know we have a lot of these people. We always seem to need them. We're always on the lookout for good ones, and we always occasionally have somebody leave unexpectedly. Or there's a high turnover. So oftentimes, especially if an organization has a large sales force, there's usually a high turnover because selling is very, very difficult in general. There are more bad salespeople per capita than there are any other bad position or employee base in the world. And so a lot of times organizations will either let their salespeople go or the salespeople will quit because they're not making sales and therefore they're not making commission. So a lot of times our clients would say, Andy, we're always on the lookout for good salespeople because they're really hard to find and they're hard to keep, or because a lot of times if they're not performing, either we let them go or they quit. I'm always willing to upgrade. So what I say to you about why you want to reach into organizations, and I say, boss hunting and recruiter hunting and just always reaching into the executive management team of organizations is a good idea, is because if I had 10 salespeople, I know 2 of them can go immediately. Meaning I know I'd be willing to trade out my least effective performers for somebody who's better. And if you're stronger, I'd be open to talk to you. So if I have a large enough base of employees, I'd be willing to upgrade. Now, what you might also notice on the sites is if you see a posting that either has a very old post date, well, here again, it's not a 100% bulletproof for sure, it's fake. But if it's been up a long time, there's a reason it could be up for a long time. Number one, they're either incredibly picky or it's a very, very difficult position to fill. Those are certainly viable reasons why it might be up. Or it's a fake job, or it's on a low simmer, meaning I don't really need an extra engineer. I don't really need an extra analyst, but I'll leave it up because you never know what might come in. The other thing is if it's refreshed often, meaning if it's refreshed often, Harley, buddy, can you please, thank you. If it's refreshed often, then what oftentimes will happen is what they're trying to do is simply cycle through. My 17-year-old dog has to go to the vet, so my wife is getting ready to take him. But if the job is refreshed frequently, like every month, what the company might be doing is going back to my original needs lots, high turnover or whatever. They always want the posting up and running. But what happens is they don't want their posting to look stale. So what they'll do is they'll refresh it, take it down, or repost it. And what that does, for example, like if you're on Indeed and you're looking for a job and you say, I'm a project manager, go. Well, a lot of times you'll sort by date or it'll naturally come up by date. Well, any company that wants to keep their posting visible will constantly refresh it. And so let's say you're job searching for 6 months and you're monitoring this company and you keep seeing them reposting the same job over and over and over again. That could be the reason. That could be the reason why. Or if there's a broad, very, very broad range of salary, that could mean a couple things. On the one hand, it can mean, hey, we're open to actually hiring somebody on the lower end of the scale if they're the right cultural fit and they show promise. Or I'm happy to pay more if I get somebody who is more seasoned or more experienced, and I'm willing to pay more if I get more. I would do that at Mile Walk. I want to pay less if I'm getting less experience, or I'm willing to pay more if you can do more and add more value. But these are the kind of things that I would just keep an eye on. These are just clues. They're not absolutes. And then what I would say when if you feel like I'm seeing a lot of these, I'm always going to this is an evergreen remark I'm about to make. I don't care what the market is doing. I don't care if it's an employer-centric market. I don't care if it's an employee-centric market, meaning there's a lot of demand and companies are growing, so they need a lot of employees, so the employees are really driving the market, or if it's the other way around, where we're tightening and employers are not hiring as much. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care about fake jobs, because the way I would go about targeting is boss hunting. Y'all, anybody that's followed me for longer than 10 minutes knows this is my number one recommended technique, is to reach out to hiring officials or senior members of the management team, depending on your position, or people in managerial positions that could potentially give you an opportunity or a position. And regardless of whether they have fake jobs or evergreen jobs up there or whatever the case may be, if you get your resume and message to a hirer or a potential hirer, or even a recruiter for that matter, they're gonna look at your background, and then they're gonna determine, are you worth speaking to? So even if I need a lot of salespeople, even if I need a lot of administrators, even if I need a lot of analysts, and I still want to talk to you because there is a legit possibility that I would want to bring you onto my team, this will almost 100% eradicate the fact that it is a fake job, or I'm not really in a hurry, or I really don't need another salesperson, but I'd like to talk to you because you never know. They're hard to find. The really good ones are. I might be willing to trade somebody out. So I want you to lean on this tactic. That's to try to minimize the impact that fake jobs can have with you, as you hopefully don't apply online, but as you're surfing the internet's looking for those opportunities, that will help. And then if you get in a situation, because in the survey, in the report, the hiring officials said they went so far in the charade as to actually interview people. They would go through the motions and go through that charade because of the rationales that I told you that they pointed to. But the one or two questions that I would ask, and this is just a reminder, I've given you this question before, but you should always be asking, how many people have you hired on your team in the last year? If you're talking at the very high levels to the C levels, how many people has your company hired in the last year? Take a look at their advertisements on their website. Are they, and I don't have a problem with if they say, we're always on the lookout for great talent. Here are the positions that we generally hire for. That's one thing. But if they have loads and loads of postings and they're telling you that they haven't really hired a lot of people, you can pretty much bet that there's a lot of fake jobs on their site. What's your turnover like? Right? You could be replacing people. And so you might want to ask this in the context of how many net new people have been added to the company? How many people have you lost? How many people have you hired? How many net positive positions are you in within the last year? So I wanted to bring this to your attention. I do think this is an interesting topic. It's really unfortunate. And I know if you're in my community and you are full out looking for your next job, that this could be something that you run into. And actually, the more time you're spending job searching, the greater the likelihood that you're going to encounter one of these. The older that you are, the greater the likelihood that you will have encountered one of these if you've changed jobs more frequently than an emerging professional. So I just want you to keep this in mind. Your best weapon against fake jobs is to target bosses, do more networking, target recruiters even. And when you get into the interviews, just make sure you're kind of kicking the tires a bit with those types of questions about how many people have you really added to the team, how many net new people have you added to the team, and so on. So hope you enjoyed that. I'm glad I could bring this to your attention. If you haven't seen that resume builder survey that they published the results for, it's in June. You can Google it and probably come up with the detail if you want to take a deeper look at the summary that I provided here. If you like this, please click the thumbs up and share it. If you're here with me live, we're going to the chat. If you're watching me on a recording, I will see you next week. All right. Said I'd get that done in 20. That's 20. How's everybody doing today? Thanks for showing up. I really, I enjoy our time on Thursdays. I've been enjoying our time on Mondays with my Zebra Book Club. You know, I got a book coming out August 6th. It's available. I spent 3 hours yesterday standing up at a workbench doing nothing but signing these bad boys. So if you're on my team Apollo and you bothered to give me your name and email address and said, Andy, Coach Andy, please send me the book, I put your name on it, personalized it for you, put a little post-it on it, made sure that the warehouse people knew these were my team Apollo people. I got some other special guests that I sent them to. I signed a whole bunch of other ones too that are sitting in the warehouse. So hope you've been enjoying the book club. If you're not a member, think about joining. It's free if you pre-order the book. Okay, one thing I do want to mention, and we haven't really had a lot of promotions around my job search coaching program. It is my signature job searching tool system, awesomeness, and got over 10,000 people that have been through it in nearly 200 countries. And we have a session tomorrow on Friday at 11 o'clock. And if you can't make it, don't worry, because I'm like a human Xerox machine. I record everything. And I'm going to be talking with some of them directly on creating their stories. So we're going to have a working session where I get you up on the camera and you give me a bullet from your resume and I help you build exactly what the story should be. So story building, we call them hot seats, but they're not really hot seats. All you need to do is show up, turn your camera on, and I'll ask you the questions, and everybody else will get to see us build the stories together. So it'll be a lot of fun. If you are interested in joining the program, I'd love to spend 5 minutes and just tell you what's in it, because I not only am offering you the program, and I will give you $300 off the 2 high-end packages, which is a sweet deal, but I'm also going to throw in an extra $400 course for free if you join by tomorrow at 11. And if you are in my job search coaching program, I call them boot campers because there's a job search boot camp product in it. And if you are here with me and you want to share your experience in the program, please let the people know in the chat what you've been experiencing in the program. So here it is real quick. And this is for me, the most important thing for me to help you become successful in finding your next job or thriving in it is I wanted to make sure you had all the modalities and could get help in any format you needed. And by that, what do I mean? So I built this program, and I've built it over time, and I've been iterating this program since 2017. It's actually 7 years old, this particular program. It's gone through some evolutions, but in its current state, it's 7 years old. It is a completely recorded and self-paced universe of job searching assets, videos, templates, tools, all laid out in a sweet system, in a sweet structure, all sequenced for you. You go at your own pace. But what I've added to it so that as you go through the program, that you can be supported. You'll have questions, right? You'll be iterating your stuff. I have online support where inside our system, you can ask me your questions. So you can literally type to me, Real Andy, and I call myself Real Andy because I also have AI Andy, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But basically, you can actually communicate with me and ask me your job search related questions. But in addition to the online support, I've built an AI tool that I call AI Andy or Andy AI that has actually been trained with all of my premium and freemium assets. That's not just my job search coaching assets. It's my leadership coaching assets. It's all the tools and templates. It's the audio from my podcast. It's the videos from my YouTube channel. It's everything that I've created has gone into training this AI tool. So imagine Andy GPT. That's basically what it is. You can text it and you can use it in a browser. And then in addition to that, I also meet about 24 times a year, actually more than 24 times a year, as additional group coaching sessions like the one I'm having tomorrow, so that you can come, and I usually teach some of the latest topics, the latest trends, some of the foundational principles, depending on what I think is needed. We do Q&As. Sometimes we do hot seats like we're going to do tomorrow. It's going to be highly interactive. So they're a lot of fun. So all of that is available. It's one enrollment. That's it. I do offer additional services that you can get, but for one enrollment, you get all the assets and you get all the upgrades to all the assets, and anything that I create that's job search related, I put into this universe that I call my job search coaching program. So there are no ongoing subscriptions. So you basically pay once, you get it for life. There are people years ago that paid $500 that keep getting these additional courses and additional features that I keep adding because it was one enrollment. So it's going to grow with me and you, but you get it forever. And then there is a private community. We have a platform. It uses the Circle technology, but we've created our own private community where you'll have access to all the other members. You can put public messages in there. You can share your resume. You can ask for feedback. You can have group chats. You can have direct chats. All that good stuff is in a private community. And there are tons of bonuses. And I will get to those in a second. But you also can join me for those sessions and those ongoing sessions. And one of those, obviously, bonuses is the coaching session tomorrow. When you look in your library, when I say it's a universe of products, I have an executive level or digest version level of a job search. So I don't mean 4 executives. I mean, 4 executives, but 4 new professionals, 4 mid-level professionals. It makes no difference. I compressed the job search into 5 main pillars where you start in the right place, you write your marketing material like your resume and such, you bring yourself to the job to the market with job searching, you interview effectively, and you negotiate your salary. I've prepared and packaged all of that in a streamlined format that I call my job search boot camp. It's delivered boot camp style. It's like drinking from the fire hose, but you get it all in one place. There's maybe 5 2-hour videos where you get a very, very comprehensive view of about 90% of what you're going to need. But I know people like deeper level of instruction. So what I have are also point solutions that are aimed at writing your resume, bringing yourself to market through my job search challenge product, which has all the job searching tactics and all the tools. There's a very detailed, very, very deep interviewing program. There's a salary workshop, deep again. There's a LinkedIn workshop. There's an online support product. And if you're inside the library, it also includes my Andy AI, but for pictorial purposes, just so you know, that is a major, major feature that people are taking huge advantage of. So this is what the job search coaching program includes. It actually includes some more stuff like the interview intervention, digital collection, the books and stuff. But you get the idea. It's all in there. And people actually enroll in these programs individually, but as part of the job search coaching program universe, I collected them all into one spot for you, and there's only one enrollment that is substantially discounted as a thank you for grabbing all of it at once. And then this Andy AI feature is so powerful, I cannot get over how people are using it. But you basically can go in and chat with Andy AI 24/7, ask it any kind of questions, and you'll see it provides you with detailed answers that are based on my coaching from the videos and the audios and those kind of things. How can I discover during an interview process whether my boss is a micromanager? And what Andy AI does is it actually literally interacts with you and learns you and prompts you so that it can have a conversation with you to guide you in the right manner. There are loads of ways people are using it. I'm not even going to read all these to you, but you get the idea that people are loving it. They're using it to write their own cover letters. They're using it to think through their presentations, their projects, their interview answers. Andy AI, where have you been all my life? I've only been conversing with you less than 24 hours, and I've already received so much support. You get the idea. It's quite effective, especially because it's my specific teaching. So you can look on the overview page where this is. You'll see some of these remarks, but you get the idea. Now, to sweeten the dang deal, if you join by tomorrow on the interactive service package or the VIP package, either one, I will give you, well, the VIPs get this anyway, but the interactive service people, I will give you this 5-module career accelerator for free. So all you need to do is join. If you join this week, don't worry, Kara will take care of you and she'll plop it in your library. But I want to make sure that once you complete the job searching process and you get your new job, you know how to position yourself in the first 90 days. You know how to position yourself for your promotion. I give you some teaching on my excellence planning, my organizational skills, and then also getting ready for your performance review. What should you be doing on day one of the job to be getting ready for your performance review that's going to occur in 3 months, 6 months, or a year? So all of this is good for anybody who joins before tomorrow at 11. Okay, so if you've joined with this week, since we've been having the sale go on, don't worry, you're going to get this. Kara will take care of you. If you have any questions, you can email us at support@malwack.com. But I just wanted to sweeten the deal a little bit because I've been doing so much promotion around the Zebra Code, which is career development oriented. I want to make sure you're positioned effectively if you decide to jump in on the job searching side. I'm going to be doing a lot of work in the Career Accelerator program and really upgrading and augmenting it. So if you have access to it, you will be getting all the improvements that I'm going to be making to it over the next 3 months or so. So we're really going to be going through a massive upgrade of this program. So get in now so you can have it. You'll have it free because I'm going to start charging more money for it. So I really want you to take advantage of this now. I do want to show you just very quickly, I do have different packages. So there's no reason right now, there's absolutely no reason for you to get the self-study package, but I have a self-study package in the event you miss this promotion. It's $997. It will not ever be lower than $997. I give you my word. So we get people who ask us, well, you know, can you look? No, you saw everything you get because the self-study program, as well as the interactive and VIPs, you get everything I just showed you, with the exception of the Career Accelerator. But it's all the recordings of all of those assets of the Job Search Bootcamp and all of the point solutions. You get access to the community. Now, the online support is for the interactive package. That's why it's called the Interactive Service Package, because it's more interactive. See how creative I was? It did not take me long to come up with that name, because that's exactly what the program is. It's interactive. You can interact with me online. You can interact with me in the live group coaching, and now you can interact with me in Andy AI. You also get all the group coaching. So you don't pay a subscription ever for this program. So you can get with me for 5 years from now if you need a new job in 5 years and you just come back to the group coaching sessions. We always love to have you back, or you could come back and ask me your career development questions. I do offer one-to-one coaching. I didn't go through this in the early part of this little presentation, but I do offer a one-to-one service where you and I meet via Zoom. We go through a very tailored interaction with you on whatever it is your goals are, whether you need direction setting or whether you need interview prep or salary negotiation prep or whatever it might be. We record it for you while we're doing it. We transcribe it, and we also give you the Zoom summary. If you want one of those services, like a coaching session, if you are in the self-study or the interactive package, there's an additional fee. It's $595. If you are in the VIP package, we give you a singular coaching session. We also have resume reviews where I teach you how to write the resume, and then I will do a word-for-word, line-by-line, period-by-period review of your resume. Those are also $595. And so if you're in the self-study or interactive package, you can add those on at checkout, or you can add those later. If you add them at checkout, we give you a $50 discount. But if you are in the VIP package, I don't just do a resume review for you. I do an entire portfolio review where I review your resume, I review a cover letter, I review your LinkedIn profile, I edit them. I also shoot you a video I personally edit everything, and then I give you a screen flow video of me walking you through everything I've done with all of my commentary. So it's a pretty neat review. Those take me a little bit of time to do, but they're really, really pretty sweet. That's in the VIP packet. All those point solutions that I showed you with all those pretty colorful cards, if you tally all that up, it's worth more than $4,000. All of that is rolled into all three of these packages. So no matter which one you enroll in, you're going to get all of that stuff. And then as long as you enroll before tomorrow, if you enroll in the interactive service package, I'll throw in the Career Accelerator program, and you'll also get all the upgrades. I'm going to be doing it because as part of my Zebra Code initiative, I want to make a more robust Career Accelerator program. But the teaching in there right now is super solid. I'm just going to be making it even better over the course of the next few months. So that's the way it breaks down. Now, I'm sure you've got questions, and I'm happy to answer them, and I have a whole list of frequently asked questions. But in the interest of time, I would like to take your questions. And if you have any questions about the program, let me know. If you have any questions about job searching, let me know. And I see Kara is sending me a bunch of heart emojis, which means that's our internal code for some people must be making some commentary about the program. Alex Fuller just bought your interview intervention book. Hats off. What a great product. I love that you think so. By the way, y'all, I give the interview intervention book away free. If you chip in a few bucks for the envelope and the service fees, I'll ship it to you anywhere in the world. JF Panquin, I very much needed that program and grateful that I have access to this and Andy AI. This is for life. That led me to join the Mile Walk Leadership Program later and followed by the Zebra Book Club. Buddy, you know we love having you, and I thank you so much for not only being a great supporter, but being quite engaged. I love that you come to this stuff. Shane, what's up? It's a comprehensive program, ton of great info. I got to meet Shane on the camera on Monday, I think, or whenever it was, or maybe it was last Friday or Monday in one of the leadership program or the book club or something. Great to meet you. Beth, what's up, Beth Banner? The program was very helpful when I was looking for a job in 2019. I know it will be helpful for my new job search. Well, A, I'm sorry that you're looking again, but B, you know we're always here for you. Peter Parker, at everyone, the job search boot camp program is the difference between flying a Cessna solo and taking a Concorde supersonic and with fellow travelers. That is true. The community is a big deal, and I don't know if I play that up enough. Plus Captain Andy and First Officer Kara. Kara really she's really the pilot. I just sort of go along for the ride. Steve Carollo, what's up? Boot camper, yes you are. Landed better job in 3 months. I love to hear it. Yes, he did. LaShone, Jeffco, how are you? Yes, exactly. And Ian, I have been a boot camper since 20-something, but I love all the information, knowledge, just everything Andy provides us. And Lisa and LaShone, thank you for that. He's like my daily vitamin. Hey, and I'm easily digestible. I love it. No, I really do appreciate you sharing that, because it's one thing for me to tout my own program, which I know you get, but to hear from others who've been through it, is really nice. And we do have an entire page dedicated to written commentary as well as video lessons of case studies. There's a dozen or 15 of them on there, plus another, 40 or 50 written testimonials from people. So I encourage you to check out that page as well. And if you got any questions about the program, let me know. Let's see. A couple of other quick announcements. On Tuesday, so it's Thursday right now, July 25th. On Tuesday, July 30th, Heather Austin, who's another career coach and my dear friend, is interviewing me about career success and managing and mastering it. And it's an interview as part of her channel. She wanted me to kind of meet her audience, to meet me and talk about the Zebra Code concepts. That's live on Tuesday. I'm live on my channel I'll also have a new video for you on Tuesday on my channel. And then I'm live on my channel August 1st, and I'm talking about 6 ways to be happier in your job. It's not fluff stuff. It's detailed, prescriptive, tactical, and deliverable oriented. So I'm not going to say to you, smile and suck it up and have a better attitude. That's trite nonsense. I'm actually going to give you the tactics I would use to get more out of my job and better position myself if I was truly unhappy, and what that takes to make myself feel better about my situation. That's what Thursday's about. In the following week, August 6th and 8th, I'm live on my channel. That's Tuesday and Thursday with the Zebra Code book launch celebration party. That's free for everybody to come to. I'm going to teach you how to develop your career development plan on Tuesday. And then on Thursday, I'm going to talk to you specifically about your job, your function, and how to master it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Mohit, I recently interviewed for a leadership position and had 5 rounds of interviews only to not get any feedback from the team. Job is now on hold. Is that a fake job? No, I would not think so. If you had 5 rounds of interviews, that's pretty extreme. And on the one hand, I would say to you, obviously, I can't tell you that that's a fake job or not because I'd need a lot more information. But if I was a betting man, which I am, I would say that's not, because I don't think anybody's going to go through 5 rounds of interviews with you on a fake job. You might be screened by the recruiter. You might be screened by the hiring official and take your, kind of see if it's a possibility or maybe go through the motions. But I got to believe that that was not a fake job. Peter Parker, what are your thoughts on reposted jobs on LinkedIn? Does it mean they didn't find the right candidate, or is it done for HR administrative reasons? I love this question. All right, I want to go back to this. So wait, Peter, that is a fantastic question. It truly is, and I want to echo something I sent earlier. When I said this sort of fake, they need a lot, high turnover, upgrades, refreshes, and so on. So when we're getting into this refreshes, one of the things I mentioned was that sometimes I'm always looking for salespeople. It's hard to find, hard to keep them, and so it's always up. All right, that's one thing. So if it's a position where there are a lot of you, then I don't think there's anything wrong with, I'm always on the lookout, and it's a legit job here, and I'm always looking, and if you're stellar, I'd pull the trigger, but you need to be really good because the bar's higher if my stack is full and if I'm happy with my team. Now, if you are interviewing for a one-of-a-kind role, meaning there's a posting for a CIO or a vice president of marketing or something like that where there's likely one of them and they're reposting it, then I'm guessing it didn't get filled, or they thought it was going to get filled and it didn't get filled, or it was up for a month, they're still interviewing, and then they're refreshing the post. But in those instances, I think there's less likelihood that it's a fake job. Now, one of the other things I would say that I didn't say in the talk that really just came to me at this moment is, you know how I made that commentary about like 60 some odd % of them said, we put these fake jobs up for growth purposes, meaning like we're looking for investment money, or we want people to think that we're growing, whether it's customers, employees, or whatever. If it's a one-of-a-kind position and it's off to the side, okay, what do I mean by off to the side? Well, the company's probably going to have a CIO or a CFO or a CMO or a chief marketing, whatever, or a vice president of marketing or a vice president of finance or a controller or whatever. They're likely going to have those because those are base functions. But if you see me like plop a function that's like chief strategy, blah, blah of this product line, that could be a fake position for growth purposes. So if it's a new position, never been done before at our company, and we're expanding because we're looking for somebody to go off and research blah, blah this and blah, blah that. That could be a fake job. It could, or it might be an awesome opportunity. And there's no way to know that until you get in. Now, I would try to find the boss first, or somebody who's if there's a team in place that's running rudderless, or I'd try to get to the recruiter, but I would try to investigate it. And when I would take new positions like that as a recruiter, number one, I hated them primarily because my client, the hiring company, often didn't know what it was looking for and thought they needed something that looked like a chief strategist or this or that. I actually did one of those searches. And then they'd start interviewing people, and then it would be, oh, whoa, what I thought I needed that. What I really think I need is this now. And as time went on, we talked more as a company. As time went on, I started talking to people, and I realized, no, I really need somebody like this. And those people had what I originally wanted, but that's not actually what I need. Or I discovered that this is what I need. And so they oftentimes move the goalpost. But to say it's a fake job or whatever is obviously very difficult. And I wish I had X-ray vision. I don't have X-ray vision, but I could see around corners. But that's kind of what I think. And so there are various ways to look at that, as well as various reasons why something like that might be done. All right. Tom Phillips, is fake posting an invitation to send a boss hunting letter? Tom Phillips, let me say it this way. You don't need an invitation to send a boss hunting letter. And I don't even worry about fake postings because here again, I'm boss hunting. So wait, I did this talk for you today out of sheer love. That's it. I only care about you. Right. So if I'm teaching my boot campers, I'm saying, don't even pay attention to this because I don't care about this. Go at the bosses and figure it out from there. If the boss is investing a lot of time with you, they're not doing it for fake job posting reasons, right? They're looking to see, can you really add to my team? That's what I think. If you go that route and they pull you in, because the likelihood that they would pull you in if you went direct, if for something that they had no intention of hiring you for, is very low. Now, I don't have a problem with you send me a resume and you say, Andy, I just love your stuff and I really want to get into helping people in this capacity. I'd love to be your executive assistant and, do you need anybody? Can we talk? Right? Boss hunt me. By the way, I respond to 100% of boss hunting messages to me. And so in that case, I might say to the EA, you know what? I'm not looking right now, but I'd love to talk to you because I'd like to get to know you a little bit. And I don't know, maybe I don't need an EA, but maybe I need somebody to manage my social media or something like that. Right? And then I go from there. And so you don't need any invitation to boss hunt. So that's what I think about that. Patricia, so is LinkedIn still a good resource for job with fake jobs being posted? Okay, I love this question because this gives me a chance to clarify some of my tactics. So I know some of you are religious live office hours attendees, and some of you found me, 50 minutes ago. And I literally never want you to apply for a job online. I really don't. And the only time I would ever put my resume in an applicant trashing system is if I targeted a boss or I targeted a teammate or I targeted a recruiter or somebody in the company and they said, would you please put it in there? Once I had them ask me. Because for me, I'm all about, I search by company because driving your search by company is, number one, it opens up the pool of possibilities. You join a company, you don't join a job. If you join the right company, you don't have the job you joined for very long. I mean that in a good way because good companies elevate their people. They give them more responsibilities and they promote them through the ranks. There are probably, conservatively, on the order of 8 additional jobs for every 2 you see that are publicized, meaning 20% of hiring is done through publicized opportunities. 80% of jobs fulfilled or openings are not publicized or are pulled in through network, employer referrals, newly created positions that were refilled on the sly. There's a ton of possibilities out there that you don't know about. And so if you're only looking for posted jobs, publicized opportunities, you're severely limiting the pool of opportunities for yourself. So if I'm looking and I see a posting and it says, looking for account manager of blah, blah in our whatever division. I'm not applying for that job. I'm looking for who's the boss. Who do I think is the boss? Let me do a few clicks around the internet and around LinkedIn and around their corporate website, and I'll start Googling their domain and all that other stuff to see if I could come up with somebody, and then I will send that person a direct message with my resume and what I call a boss hunting cover letter, which is really your email or LinkedIn in-mail that you're going to send that particular boss or some representative of the management team. So your question is awesome, because is LinkedIn a good resource? If you just stopped right there, I'd say yes. And then for jobs, yes. To find companies, yes. To see if there's openings, sure. But I'm not gonna do one-click apply or any of that other stuff, or easy apply or submit my resume through that. That is an absolute last resort. And then when I do it, I would expect absolutely nothing. So that's the way I look at that. And this is kind of a good little story. I saw this about a month ago. I don't know if this is a good story in the wake of what I just said. So does anybody know who Glenn Powell is? Glenn Powell, the actor. He's like overly handsome to the point where you just want to hate the guy, but he's kind of a fun actor. And so Glenn Powell. So Glenn Powell played Hangman in the recent Maverick movie, the Top Gun Maverick movie. And he was Hangman. And so if you don't know who Glenn Powell is, do you know who Tom Cruise or Jerry Bruckheimer is? Okay. It's okay, and even if you don't, but I'm hoping you know who Tom Cruise is. Whether you like him or not, or you think he's a nut, it's okay. He's a great actor, and he puts people in the seats, and he gets them to watch on demand or Netflix, or gets them in the theaters. And he's made a lot of movies, and he's made a lot of money, and he's made a lot of people rich. So Rich Eisen, who is a sports talk analyst, has the Rich Eisen Show, interviews sports people and personalities and players and coaches, but he also interviews actors and actresses. And he was interviewing Glenn Powell. And he interviews actors like almost on a daily basis. So he's interviewing Glenn Powell, and Glenn Powell says, Rich Eisen asked him, and he says, "Is it true that you almost were not in the movie, in the Maverick movie?" And he said, "That's true." He said, "Well, tell me that story." So, well, I auditioned, and I wanted the part of Goose. So Goose is another character in the movie, and Goose has a larger part. And so he says, I didn't get the role. And so Tom Cruise called me and told me I didn't get the role, but he invited me into the office to talk about it. And I went to the office, and I talked to Tom Cruise, and I talked to Jerry Bruckheimer, and they were explaining to me that they still wanted me to be in the movie. And he said, but I said, no, I don't want to be in the movie. I want this role. And Tom Cruise says, "Well, what kind of career do you want?" And Glenn Powell says, "Well, I want to be the man. I want to be like you. I want your kind of career." And Tom Cruise says to him, "Well, how do you think I do that?" And Glenn Powell says, "Because you pick great roles." And Tom Cruise looks at him and says, "No, I pick great movies, and I make the role great." And so Glenn Powell says, then I had a different appreciation, and I needed to be on the team. And the minute that movie came out, now I don't know if you know who Glenn Powell is, and I didn't know who Glenn Powell was either until I saw Maverick. And then since I saw Maverick, Glenn Powell's in a movie about every 6 months. He's probably been in like 7 movies since that time, because he played a great role in a great movie. Maybe not the role he wanted, but he was smart enough to get on the team. And that's what I would say to you. You all obsess about what your title is and what your function is, but that's the way you should approach it. So now you're all going to go look up who Glenn Powell is. You'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I saw that movie with him." True story. Even look up the interview with Rich Eisen if you want. All right. I just, you can only talk about job searching so much. Karen Rivera, you are so awesome. I have the job search program, and I went from 0 responses on job applications to getting 2 competitive offers, and recruiters telling me my resume was so good they had no questions to ask me. I'm so proud of you. I hope the new job's If you started it yet, I hope it's going well. All right, JF. Boutique consulting firms that don't want to keep a bench will also keep posting jobs that are not really available in near future. Your thoughts on filtering those? Love this question, buddy. You scored. Fantastic question. And for those of you that don't know what JF is talking about, there are a lot of consulting companies out there. And if you are not familiar with how consulting companies operate, there's different working models, but keep in mind that consulting services companies put their staff people, their consultants, out on projects with clients. The clients pay for the consulting company for the value that that consultant provides, whether that's the project the consultant does on a fixed basis or dollars per hour, time and materials. But any which way, that consultant is generating money every minute that consultant works for a client, or is hopefully so. And so what companies will do is they will have what's called just-in-time hiring. That's literally the terminology they use, where I want you to imagine I'm a consulting company and this is my client over here. We don't have the signed contract yet, but I know I'm probably going to need consultants for that client or clients like that. And I don't always know from week to week when that contract is going to get signed and when I can put one of my consultants on the project. If a consultant is idle, it's called being on the bench. And if they're on the bench, what are they doing? They're costing the company money, but they're not generating the company money. Now, some companies like to have consultants on the bench to work on internal projects or build infrastructure, whatever it might be. But some of the smaller consultancies don't want to do that because it's very expensive. So what they do is the recruiters are constantly calling people with the requisite skills and background to talk with them, to interview them, to warm up the pipeline of talent, so to speak. So in these cases, they will go so far as to say, hey, JF, this is great. We would like to give you a contingent offer, meaning when you start with us, we're going to pay you $100,000 and here's your salary and here's your bonus and here's your vacation days and bennies and all this other stuff. And you sign it contingently, meaning when they call you, you're ready to go. And sometimes you're sitting waiting. You have an offer, you signed it, and they're waiting for contracts to be signed with their clients. What are my thoughts on filtering those? I wouldn't filter them. I would go talk to all those consultancies. If you are in job search mode, whether you hate what you're doing and you need out, or you are not employed, I would talk to every consulting firm that wanted to talk to me. Why not? You're getting a chance to learn them. They're getting a chance to learn you. If they want to hire you because just in time they've got the right opportunity, great, go. If you're available, if you find another opportunity, you turn to them and say, well, I know I signed a contingent contract with you. That's okay. You could break that, because if they don't pull you into their company, you could say, I'll see you later. I'm going to go take that full-time job over there. The question isn't necessarily would I filter it. The question isn't even would I sign the contingency contract. The question is, should I be worried that when my contract's over, they're going to dump me? Right. So that's what you're trying to balance. So that's what I think about that. That's a great question. Really great. May Grace, those posted on the company's own website, how much is a chance they are fake? It's hard to say what percentage they are. I'm giving you the order of magnitude of those people surveyed to say, this is how many of these we posted. It's incredibly hard for me to estimate what percentage of any given company's postings would be fake, or I don't even like to use the word fake, because I could have business analyst up there. That's a legit job. I might not need one right now, but I'm always on the lookout to talk to you, to talk to people who fit the bill, because you never know. So it's difficult to say. And Gina, so are companies benching applicants in case they need to replace someone in the company in the future? I wouldn't necessarily say that. I would say from a hiring perspective, great companies interview 365 or 220 days a year, and they're always talking to people. They are always on the lookout, because that's good succession planning practices. And I want to be on the lookout. If I find somebody that I can add to the team because they're so awesome, yay. If I can find somebody to replace my poorest performer, I'll take it. If I want to understand what's happening in the market, what the resources are like, what people's level of mobility are, and I want to build relationships and network with them, and they're willing to take the time to meet with me and get to know me, I'm all for that. But I'm up for being transparent. So if Gina, if you come to me, I'd say, Gina, this is great. I'm always on the lookout for project managers. I love your background. That's why I wanted to take some time to get to know you. At the moment, I don't have necessarily an open position, but I really want to get to know you and understand your strengths to see whether we make room for you on the team or maybe we bring you in place as somebody. I would just be transparent. That's what I want I want the hirers to be. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being transparent. I really don't. I think it's better to earn trust that way. Let's see. May, hi Andy. Boot camp. I want to enroll into the VIP program. Just wondering after I enroll how the program works. When can we talk about my situation and when can I do the market review and one-to-one review? I love this question. Okay, so this gives me a chance to answer a couple of questions. So number one, for any of you that are not May, meaning, Andy, I like your program. I want to get in the interactive service package and I want to try it out because I don't want to pay $26.97. I'd rather pay $9.97. Cool. Get in. You can always upgrade later or you can a la carte the rest later. And you don't even have to do it all at once. You don't have to go from like $9.97 to $267. You could step your way up if you want and just get what you need. That's one thing I probably should have said. If you are in any of my job searching products, meaning if you already bought the resume writing workshop, we have a trade up program that we allow you to get credit dollar for dollar, 100% of what you've spent on my job searching products. So if you bought the resume writing workshop for $499, you don't pay another $1,000. You just pay $500. You pay the difference. So we have what's called a trade up program. So we have a trade up program for anybody who wants to do that. Now, whether you join the interactive service or whether you join the VIP program, you get in the program, and what I recommend is that you go through, at a minimum, the job search boot camp. Take it in so that you understand what's going on, like what a good job search looks like. Because if you jump in the program, you pay your VIP rate, and then you say, Andy, it's Thursday at noon. I love you so much. I'm in. Can I meet with you on Friday? What happens is if we start discussing your specific situation, I'm having to teach you stuff that already that you could have learned in the program. And instead of talking advanced level stuff and getting very, very nitty gritty, I'm having to give you the basics, which I don't want to spend time doing and you don't need to spend time paying for. Because if you were able to get a foundational understanding of how I want you to build your story, what the questions are you should ask yourself, and how you should say it, if you already understand that, I don't have to spend 20 minutes explaining to you what that means. We can go right to your story and start working your specific stuff. We can get so much more done. So your question about when can you get with me, you can get with me as soon as you want. What I recommend is that you go through certain pieces of the program. There are some people. We had a woman join on Monday, gets in the VIP program. She's like, Andy, I got an interview on Wednesday. I have to crush this thing. Is there any way we can talk? This happens a lot. It happens almost every day. She gets in on Monday. We had her paid Tuesday morning. I talked to her Tuesday afternoon. Kara said, you got to watch this and this, these two videos. Just watch them before you meet Andy. Give me all your stuff. She gives me the job description, whatever the resume was she has, who she talked to, all their LinkedIn profiles. I looked at all that stuff before she and I met in the afternoon on Tuesday. Now, we try to do what we can. I appreciate that we don't always have a week or 2 weeks notice, but there are certain things we're going to want you to do, because if you want me to prep you on an interview, I need you to have the basics down. And inside the premium programs, there's more detail than it's in the public. So there's certain things I need you to watch. The marketing review, much like the getting together one-to-one, we give you resume writing instruction. We give you the tools, the templates, the format, sentences, the structure, and everything that we'd want you to put your material in. And keep in mind, if you want to spend all day, watch the videos, write your resume, write your cover letter, do your LinkedIn profile, and send it to me, you can do that. It's on your clock, not mine. And then it usually takes me a week or two to get everything done and back to you. But it isn't a matter of how fast. It's, can you go through the requisite steps? So some people take weeks to go through it. Maybe they're working full time. Maybe they're on vacation. Who knows? Some people say, no. I want to get in and I have the time because I'm full-time job searching. And then they spend all day and they go through whatever videos and then they work on their stuff and they send it to me. Some people are like overnight. Some people enroll on a Friday and I'll get their stuff on a Monday. And I don't have a problem with that as long as you go through the steps, because it's going to make what you give me so much better. And if we meet, there's a huge difference. I had a situation, I am not afraid to admit this because I can't control everything that people do. There was a woman who got in the program and she had been in the program a week, insisted she wanted to meet with me. Kara gave her the prerequisite stuff. And when we got together, she had absolutely no understanding of how to interview or any of the basic blocking and tackling. I had to spend a long time helping her understand why to do certain things. We were trying to fix a lot of bad habits she had, and we couldn't get to some of the stuff she wanted. And that kills me, because all she needed to do was watch the stuff. And if she'd have come prepared to the interview, we'd have been able to get everything she wanted done. And so I don't want that. I don't want you to walk away from a coaching session with me ever to not think it was like lights out the best thing that you ever invested in. So that's the way I say that. And by the way, if you give me a resume where I know I'm going to have a ton of questions for you, I will literally give it back to you and say, you got to look at this, this, and this before you send this back, because you're going to be wholly disappointed. Because if I spend the time to review this, you're going to get a lot more questions than you're going to get polishing. And I don't want that to happen. So we work with you to get you the best product. But there's, to speak to your question, I'm pretty good about getting, I do a lot of coaching sessions every week. And so then it becomes a matter of urgency, timing, what the issue is, and when you're ready. So I hope that helps. That's a great question. Michelle, I was contacted by a staffing company for a role. I agreed with the rate. In the next email, a few minutes later, they reduced the rate by $6,000. What would you do? I would not respond to the email. I would literally pick the phone up. I would call them and say, hi, so-and-so. I wanted to check. I know first off, if you get them live, then just ask them, say, I believe we agreed on whatever plus 6K. And so I want to understand if anything transpired between the time we hung up and the time I got this email. I would just go along those lines. If you got to leave them a voicemail, say, I received the email with the rate. I noticed it was different than what we agreed to. Can you give me a call? And I'm assuming you mean 6K over the course of what would be annualized. I don't know how the thing, or if it's a designated project that they're paying for, or if that's extrapolated on an hourly rate. But this goes for any of you, anytime, this is a 100% always. Any dialogue that needs to occur around money should never be handled in any other medium other than live. Live could be phone, Zoom, Teams, Google Hangouts, Meets, whatever it is now. And I would never put anything in writing, meaning there's the ability to be misconstrued, or the likelihood you're going to be misconstrued, or be able to make your argument in real time, or ask the right questions, or make the right statements is nil. So just keep that in mind. That goes for salary negotiations. That goes for, hey, what are you thinking? I don't care if they're emailing you stuff. Don't email back. Juan, I am writing from Germany. Great to have you. What time is it? Maybe, are you like 8 hours, maybe 7 hours. I have a question. I received a job proposal a couple years ago, but I rejected it at the time. I will contact this company again. What would be the best approach? So it depends why you rejected it. It depends what it was. But to give you kind of a base template to work from, hey, I really enjoyed connecting with you a few years ago, and I'm disappointed that I wasn't able to take the project on at the time, but I remember everybody fondly. I love you all. I wanted to circle back, something along those lines. JF, what about the myriad of third-party staffing agencies masquerading as having a relationship when they are using vendor management system ATS? So with a staffing agency, this is a little bit different. So remember this, y'all. Staffing is a commodity business, and what usually happens, usually not always, if it is a true staffing agency, meaning they are putting people on projects, it's and moving you into a temporary role. It could be a contract that they have with a client, or it could be a contract they have with a client for temporary position that could be converted to a full-time. We call it temp to perm, permanent. If I am the company, I'm PepsiCo, I'm whoever, and I have vendors that I'm working with, I'm probably working with 10 vendors to fill a singular position, and all 10 vendors get a rec at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, and by noon, they've got a bunch of resumes. They're going to make that decision in 48 hours. And so if that staffing agency doesn't have your resume, you ain't getting that position. So unlike an executive recruiter who's probably looking at an individual position, probably solely retained, hopefully, and is reaching out, working on behalf of the company that's going out into the market and trying to tap people on the shoulder to see if they can pull them out, this is a totally different business model than the staffing agency. So staffing is usually very quickly handled. And so they need those resumes. Otherwise, they're not going to contact you. So you just say, hey, boom, boom, my name's JF. I do this, that, and the other thing. I'm open to opportunities. Let me know if you have something. They're going to say, JF, what's your rate? Say, it's whatever's reasonable for the position. Give me some guidance. What do you think? Put that down. Go ahead, fine. Because if you want the opportunity and you want them to call you, you can always haggle about the rate later, but also know this. If you're haggling about the rate, remember, I got 10 other resumes sitting there. I'm just going to pluck one. Unless you are so awesome that I have to have you. But the likelihood that I'm using a staffing agency to get that person is low, because if I needed somebody who was so awesome that that was super hard to find, I would hire that person because it likely would be a strategic hire. So you have to keep in mind all the forces that are contributing to what you're doing. All right, that's a great question though. Felicia, boss hunted CEO who replied with request for coffee meeting, wants to create an executive job. His PA scheduled it and then 2 days prior canceled because the CEO had to travel. Promised to reschedule. It's been a month. I followed up 2 times. Help. So my answer is going to be short, but then I'm going to explain the rationale, which will be a little longer. I would do nothing. There's no reason for you to keep following up. You did the right thing. You boss hunted. The person, the CEO, I don't know if it was he or she, got back to you, said, I'd love to meet you, so there's some interest. Good so far. Now, the fact that that person had to travel, okay. Now, remember, you said wants to create an executive job. If I want to create a job, I don't need the job. It's not burning a hole in my life right now. So you're only so high on his priority list or her priority list. So if they haven't contacted you, you have to keep in mind where this is. I wouldn't keep calling them. You can't force people to make you a higher priority when they're dealing with a lot of stuff. I don't know if this guy's out. I don't know if this guy's sick. I don't know if a major project came up, a client left him. Who knows what's going on? So you have to keep things in perspective. So I'm going to say to you, feed the funnel, right? Just keep 3 a day, 3 a day, 3 a day. And I wouldn't, I wouldn't even have, I would have followed up one time and that would have been it. And you followed up twice, so that's enough. Joel, when I send my initial boss hunting message, should I already include my analysis of the business strategy and my recommendations so I can stand out? Absolutely not. In fact, that would probably annoy most people because you're coming to me with your recommendations when you have no idea what I'm operating, how I'm operating, what I need specifically, what my priorities are, and so on. So in order for you to explain any of that stuff, it's just going to take more words. I would stick to the boss hunting messaging that I've given you or keep it tight however you want, but don't add a lot of extras. You don't need to do that. The goal of the email or the message is just to get them to respond. It's not to get a job. It's to get them to respond and to hopefully pique their interest enough to talk to you. Then if they're interested, plus I wouldn't want to be designing or taking that much more time on my boss hunting messages. Tailor it to the person, shoot it and go. And then you can always talk more when you meet. And I wouldn't offer any recommendations until I know the recommendations that actually worked based on their highest priorities. You could talk about generally what good practices are, but I'm guessing they already know that. So I wouldn't do that. That's a great question, though. Peter, I'm not even sure what TMAY and WMITY are, what that means. I'm not even sure what you're asking me. Clarify that. Kara will tell me. Lisa W. I'm in the book club and pre-ordered the Zebra Code. Can I also access the audio version? So Lisa and anybody else, wait, I love that y'all are supporting me on this and really investing in yourselves. So I don't own the rights to the book. The publisher owns all the rights. So this hardbound is available singularly anywhere books are sold, literally anywhere. Anywhere. You could get it anywhere. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Thrift Books, Target, Walmart, and so on. Then there is an ebook and an audio book. The ebook is available where ebooks are sold. So like Target doesn't have e-readers, right? Barnes & Noble has Nook. Amazon has Kindle, iPad. There's iPad, which you could do any of those apps. iPad has iBooks, so you can get the ebook. Then there's the audio book. So only the platforms that provide audio will have the audio book. It will be on Audible, which means it'll be on Amazon and it'll be on other platforms. Like you'll be able to get it on iTunes or whatever. But those are all individually sold. So as an example, I paid for all of my stuff. I paid for a hardbound, I paid for an ebook, and I paid for an audio book. And some of you that have Audible subscriptions, for example, you probably can just get the audio book rolled in for free in your subscription. But can you access the audio version? You can get an audio version, but it's not like my interview intervention collection where I own the rights and I mail you a hardbound and I give you an ebook and an audio book. I have restricted copyrights on this stuff. I can't just give it away. I have actually bought books. I literally bought 2,000 of these books. I bought 200 advanced reader copies. Those are all gone. I bought 2,000 of these books for me to distribute, but I'm only distributing those on a very limited basis until I run some programs and promotions around that stuff. But even when I offer those up, I won't be able to give you the ebook. So I hope that helps. The audiobook, it's good. I listen to it every day. I listen to different sections of my own book. Shane, you are a boot camper and an all-around awesome dude. When building your company list, I have a bunch of second connections. What's the best boss hunting or reaching out to a connection? Well, if your second connection, meaning there's Shane, there's Andy, and then there's targeted boss. If I'm connected to targeted boss, you email me and say, hey, can you make an intro? That's an option. If you're connected to me and I don't know you, meaning like you just connected with somebody, I would still try to say, hey, I'm reaching out to you. I know we're connected. I value the connection, meaning I value being connected. I noticed you're connected to so-and-so. Do you know that person really well? And if so, would you be open to helping me get connected with him or her? Something like that. You could try that. If that doesn't work, boss hunt directly. It's okay. You got the tools. How we doing? Wait, are you guys loving this? I'm loving this. I love our time together. I'm with my boot campers tomorrow. That's going to be so dang fun. We're going to get you up on the camera. You're going to tell me your bullet, and you're going to watch me spin gold for you. So that's tomorrow at 11. If you can't make it, you get the replay. On Tuesday, I'm on Heather's channel. Mention that. On Thursday, I'm on my channel. Mention that. Be happier at work. And then the following week, Tuesday and Thursday as well. Okay. Let's see. Carl. Andy, please talk about career changes more. I did 18 years in healthcare, went back to uni for IT. I know I bring tons of experience and soft skills, but have trouble selling myself to potential employers. Okay, Carl, I have a career changer playlist on my YouTube channel. The level of complexity in making these changes is significant, meaning there's hours worth of instruction that I would do. But one of the things that I would, to give you some value right now, is, and I mentioned this to somebody the other day, that the first thing I would do if I was going to make a change is I would talk to somebody who's doing the role now, meaning, number one, do you even want to make that change? And I would talk to somebody who's doing the role now so they could give you the exact scene of what it's like. Good, bad, indifferent, pain points, joy, whatever. Somebody who's doing it right now. And the other thing I would get from them is, okay, what are the most important skills that you feel somebody in your position needs in order to be successful? And then there's the mapping process. Now, I don't think you're in my boot camp, but one of the things I teach people in the program how to do is to identify what those capabilities are as you make that transition. I realize you said you went to the university to get experience, but all that's going to do is give you some schooling and get you familiar with, and I don't know what part of IT you're moving to, whether you're programming or whether you're running projects or business information systems or management information systems or what it might be. But I'm looking at how do I take my existing experience and articulate it in a manner that talks about the capabilities I'm going to need for where I'm going, not where I've been. And so I take you through this. Now, if you are in the boot camp, meaning, or if you're in my job search coaching program, I've woven into all the teaching, all the things career changers need to do in order to make the change. And I've put it embodied in the newest teaching, which we've done only like 5 months ago. And so it's really hot off the press. Now, the other thing is inside the job search coaching program is a 12-step, 4-stage process to make a career change and how I would go about that. And the other thing to cap this off for you, Carl, is I would absolutely do not miss my session on August 8th, because that's to master your trade, but it's also to make a career change. But it's how to be the best at what you're doing. But if you're going to make a change, this is the steps I would do too. Same thing. So I am going to be talking more about that August 8th. But I would try my career changer playlist. That'll get you moving in the right direction. And if you had Andy AI, that really helps, because I know the career changers send me messages about how much that's helped them. All right. Gemma got an interview from Boss Hunting, but the package is set very low and the recruiter told me it's not negotiable. Is it really not negotiable? No, it's negotiable. So it's not negotiable. This is a contract role with basic benefits. If it's a contract role, my guess is the rate is much tighter, meaning you might be able to eke out a little bit. Or if it's contract, you might even be able to get them to roll in some kind of bonus if there's some truly valuable, tangible benefits. But if I stopped at your question mark before the PS about it being a contract role, I would generally say to 99% of you that I would not pay any attention to what a recruiter says about. I would actually pay a lot of attention to what recruiters say because they could be your best friend. Believe me, they want you to get the job. They want it checked off and they want it off their desk. But when they say, the range is tight or it really isn't negotiable, they're not the ones that are ultimately going to decide. They're not the ones paying for you. The boss is going to pay for you or the division is going to pay for you. And then if it's a contract role, I'm going to go back to what I was saying to JF earlier, which is, remember, it's a commodity, right? So if the rate's 70 and I know I can get somebody for 70, I'm not going to monkey about. If you're haggling with me and you need 80, I'll just go back and get somebody else. That's how they think. All right, wait. So quick time check. I got another 5 minutes for y'all. If you're loving this, please click the thumbs up. How many people are here? Well, who's still here? Oh, y'all are great. Like what, about 100 of you still left? I know it's summertime. I get it. But if you are enjoying this, please click the like button. Please share it. Remember, there is an enrollment page to check out the details on the job search coaching program. If you have any questions about it, support@milewalk.com and I or Kara will take care of you. But there's a lot more. I blew through that very, very quickly. But I know there's a lot there and I know it's a big step and I know it's expensive, but the value is high. It truly, truly is. So, one of the things I always like to say is, people say, well, geez, that $1,000 sounds like a lot of money. But to put it in perspective, if you earn $50,000 a year, you earn approximately $25 an hour. That means it takes you 1 week to come up with the $1,000, right? You earn 50 grand a year, one a week. And so how miserable are you in your job? How long is it taking you to find that new job? Or if you have no job, right? You're going to tell me you and I can't find your job 5 days faster than you can alone, not to mention how you feel along the way, not to mention how well you're going to interview, how much more you're going to be able to negotiate for because of the positioning that you've given yourself in the interviews, as well as how to negotiate your salary. So all of that is definitely going to be well worth the investment. I totally appreciate that when you swipe the card, so to speak, or when they draft it out of your PayPal account or whatever it is, I know it can hurt, but you've got to look at that as an investment. I will tell you this, the people, remember this analogy. The people that score in life are the ones that are willing to sign the front of the check, not the back of the check. If you're not willing to sign the check and invest in yourself, you're not going to get to sign the back of a lot of checks. So just think about that. All right, let's see. Greg, which training program includes the BOSS method? All of it, meaning the job search coaching program, has it inside the job search bootcamp, and it has it inside the job search challenge in more depth. So if you're looking for, I just want the boss hunting method, and I want to pay the least amount of money I can, you can enroll in the job search challenge. If you have any questions about that, email support@milewalk.com. Kara can help you. Let's see what else. Let me see if I can get another one in here. Stephen Carollo, I know you must not be asking this for yourself. Maybe it's a son, a daughter, a friend's kid, whatever. Andy, what's your advice to undergraduates for finding an internship? Boss Hunt, I'm the boot camper, and I have a computer science undergrad. Oh, in the house. There you go. Yes. I would take your boot camp, right, my boot camp, and I would say to your computer science undergraduate, this is what you need to do. I would do the same exact tactics. Literally, I as an executive recruiter back at the time, I had a lot of interns, and even as a career coach, I had interns working with me. They were doing practicums, or some of them I was paying for, and I was appalled at the lack of resources that the universities offer these kids to get a new job. I mean, when I went to school and I was graduating, it was 1988. All I had to do was sign up for interviews, and all the major companies came to Iowa State University, and I just had interview after interview after interview and job offer after job offer after job offer. I'm not saying I'm great or anything. I'm just saying the structure was set up for this. And now it's, hey kids, you got the internet, you're on your own. And so I would say the same thing. Those internships, if you email bosses, they will they might not even have an opening and they'll create one for you because you're so cheap, you're such cheap labor. It's like, yeah, I'd love to have an intern. So I would do the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with applying online for internships, but you're dealing with the same thing. So that's what I think. Okay, folks, I got to get running. I love our time together. I really do. Okay, here, Zebras. Kara, did you drop the Zebra code pre-order? You can get it anywhere. And we got a book club with a ton of great stuff in it. We got the job search coaching program is available for $300 off the top 2 packages through tomorrow. I know we haven't been having a lot of sales because I've been spending a lot of time with the Zebras. And then on Tuesday, I'm with Heather Austin. She's just awesome. Maybe you're subscribed to her channel too, or if not, go ahead and subscribe. I'm there Tuesday at noon Central. And then I'm back on my channel Thursday at 11. We're talking about 6 ways to be happier. And then the following week, I'm on my channel the 6th and the 8th at 1:30 Central for the Zebra Code launch party. So I hope y'all take advantage of all of it. I really do. All right. Love y'all. See ya. I'll see my boot campers tomorrow. I'll see the rest of you next week. Have a great weekend.